Westlife.
Hello everybody, and you are very welcome to Nicky Byrne HQ Christmas Special. We're live here in the HQ, except I've got no guests. I want to start off today by thanking each and every one of you guys for listening to the podcast and making it such a success over the past 10, 12 weeks. It's been absolutely brilliant. And some of the guests that I've had in here have been, I guess, truly inspirational. We've had Michael Flatley, Gary Barlow, Brian McFadden, Chris Kamara, Joe Amara. The list is endless. Tony Mortimer, and loads more to come in 2025. So this special is interesting because I think it's your turn to ask me anything. So we've loads of questions lined up, loads of little moments that I'm going to sit here and give you my best answers. Also, we're going to be doing a countdown of the best moments, both your best moments and my best moments over the past 10, 12 weeks on the podcast. I'm also going to be introducing you to some of my personal friends. Now, I don't know how that's going to go. What we did was we put together a Christmas special show where all my friends got in the room, some alcohol was involved, and we tried to put together a podcast special. Friends, as they call it. But let's see how much of that we can play for you guys today. Also, I'll be chatting about my plans for 2025, both Westlife plans, podcast plans, and all else in the middle. So that's it. We're going to kick off with Ask Me Anything. First question has come in from Merrin Cowell from Australia. G'day, mate. Merrin wants to know, will Westlife tour Australia? It's an interesting one, this, Merrin. Interesting one. So, we have toured Australia, obviously, on numerous occasions, but not since 2007. And I always remember it's 07 because my twin boys, Rocco and Jay, were born in April 07. And we toured Australia, New Zealand in March 07. And my wife was obviously heavily pregnant at that point. So, I always remember being the other side of the world while Jordina was home, nearly ready to give birth. So, the answer to that is yes. That is the plan. It has always been the plan, to be honest. It's trying to find the right time because it is so far away, and it's, Perth is, was it 11 hours ahead in Perth or 8 hours ahead? And it's trying to find the exact time in the year to get there and do it. But we have had offers, and I think, the next tour, whenever that is, if it's in a few years' time, that will be the plan, to get down to Australia and New Zealand as well. And do a couple of shows down there, or maybe more, maybe 6, 7 shows, do all the major cities. But I'm always envious when I see other artists that are down there, the likes of Ed Sheeran or Taylor Swift were there recently. So it is in our plans, and I know there's so many expats from Ireland down there, and of course from, Britain and Europe and, all around the world now live in Australia. So it would be a whopper concert. So stand by. Sydney, Melbourne, Perth, I'm going to leave somewhere right now, Brisbane, all those places. We're coming to get you, hopefully real soon. Okay, Merrin also asks, what are the chains that hang from your pants when on stage? I do know in the olden days when we used to do the Cirque du Soleil, and we would twist upside down and be lifted up to the roof, that would be a harness. So that's where you step in and then it grips you, and then the chains are connected to that, and that's what lifts you. Maybe that's what you're talking about. Merrin also says, is there any meaning or significance to the bracelets you wear? Not usually. There has been on occasion. So when I played in Soccer Aid, the big charity soccer game, my boys, Rocco and Jay, used to make me bracelets in the colours of the rest of the world, which is blue and white. So I used to wear them on the game. It'd be blue and white, and then green, white and orange, which is the Irish flag. So that was the significance to those. My daughter Gia made me one, or gave me one, that I wore on tour as well. So that's definitely in photographs I've seen. I wore for months. And then a lot of the time when I arrive in airports, some of the fans have made their own merchandise bracelets. In fact, I might have. And it'll say the tour. It'll say the Love Tour, or it'll say the Greatest Hits Tour, or the Unbreakable Tour, Gravity, whatever. And when I have them, I usually stick them on to say thank you. And then when I get to the hotel room, I'm like, what will I do with these now? Will I wear them? And I end up just keeping them on. So yeah, I've done that. Now I do have loads of spares as well, so then they don't get too smelly. But now that you mention it, I did find this. That's a bracelet that I've kept. And that is from the Unbreakable video shoot in Los Angeles and Malibu. It's quite heavy, that. And I came across it recently when I opened up a load of Westlife old clothes, and it was in there. And I bought that myself in a shop called Traffic Menswear in a shopping centre down La Cienega. Can't remember the name of the shopping centre. But it's called Traffic Menswear. It's still open, the shop. More questions in. This one comes in from Brazil, Sao Paulo, Brazil. It's Emerson Raldau. Emerson says, "Hi Nicky, is there something you want to do but haven't been able to do yet? Thank you, love you so much." Well, thank you very much. I would say there's a few things. And I created a list for my 40th birthday 6 years ago that I didn't quite get through. So it was things like climb a mountain, which I did in the west coast of Ireland. Not a very big one, but it was Croagh Patrick. But it was really enjoyable. Plant a tree. I've done that. Different things like that. But I do want to visit some of the islands off the east coast of Ireland. Ireland's Eye, Lambay Island. I mean, they're only 20 minutes on a boat. And I see them ever since I've been alive. And I fly over them every time we leave Dublin Airport. And I've never been on them. So that's definitely one thing I want to do. I do want to climb more mountains. Carrantoo Hill down in Kerry in Ireland. And there's probably other stuff. But they're the ones that are coming to mind at the moment. Also want to do big concerts in Brazil. That'd be nice again. We were there in last March. So it'd be nice to go back and do... we were in Sao Paulo, but it'd be nice to do Brasilia and Rio and some of the other cities. So yeah, hope that answers your question. Right, next question. Rachel Wilkins. She got 4 questions. She says, "Who would you like to interview the most, but no, they'd never come on the show?" Mm-hmm. See, I don't know they wouldn't come on the show, but I would really like to interview Roy Keane. And I've met Keano. He knows I'm a big fan. I met his mom, actually. I met him and his mom in Portugal many years ago, and we had a good conversation. So hopefully one day, fingers crossed, Roy comes on the show. But he'd be the one that I'd love to sit down and have a good chat with. I wouldn't say he'd never come on the show. I like Roy. I think he might do. Fingers crossed. If you know him, I don't know, ask him or text him. Or he's on Instagram, isn't he? Maybe we'll send him a DM. Next question is, what's the craziest thing you ever did in the band? God, am I allowed to say any of these things? That's the thing. Probably get a tattoo in Australia when I was 18, 19, when the band just started. It's not the craziest thing in the world, is it? But we landed in Sydney and myself and Keane decided we were going to get tattoos. So we went down to a part of Sydney. I'm not going to name, but anyway, Keane was first up and he got a tattoo on his calf muscle. It was one of those where I said, I'll get it if you get it. So he went first. But his took a little bit longer than we thought. And then we ran out of time and we had to go back to the hotel to start a day's promotional work. And when he finished, Keane said, "No, you're definitely going to get yours." I said, "No, I promise we'll come down later on." So we ended up going to a different part. They got me a private tattooist who had actually tattooed some of the guys from E17, Prius, he told me on the day. So he did a tattoo on my back. There, a little kind of flash there. And it's like one of those just tribal designs. It means absolutely nothing. I regret every bit of it. I'm glad it's where it is because nobody has to see it. But if I could think it through, I really wanted those cool tattoos that are like shaded and they look, they're real dark and then they go shaded up that way. I didn't even know to ask for all that. And I just got this, it's like literally like that just on your back. It means nothing. And next question, who's your favourite member of the band and why? I would go with probably AJ. I would go with AJ from the Backstreet Boys. Oh, you mean in Westlife, right? Yeah, I ain't answering that. No, because I've got to live with these guys. I've got to tour with these guys. Do I have a favourite? I might have. Next question. P.S. I usually hate podcasts, but my friend Amanda forced me to listen to your session with Brian, and now I'm hooked. It's interesting you call it a session. It was like a counselling session, wasn't it? It was weird that we hadn't spent any proper time together in 20 odd years. And although we'd met at Stephen Gately's funeral and Old Trafford, Manchester United's ground at different times, we'd never discussed Westlife. So that was a really, really good chat. I always knew it would be, if I'm honest, because we're older now. I've referenced this a lot, actually. I recorded the Gary Barlow chat before I had recorded the Brian one. And I felt Gary demonstrated a lot of maturity in the way he views Take That and the way he views the politics in a boy band. When I stepped away from the Gary interview, I kind of felt, do you know what, maybe it's time for just me to have a conversation with Brian. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. And obviously then when it was done, it felt like the right first episode because there was so much at stake. And obviously there was a lot said, like, why did you leave Westlife and stuff like that. So it was like no other interview for all the right reasons. And I've been in touch with him since. We text back and forward now. And, Brian was never, a bad guy. Lives his life at 1,000 miles an hour. But a decent guy, I suppose, a decent skin deep down. But we did have those moments all of us did in Westlife, where we felt a little bit like, you know, that it could have went sour for us after Brian leaving. Thankfully it didn't, thanks to you guys. But yeah, that was an interesting one. And like I said, keep in touch. Let's move on to the next question. Suzanne Nielsen. Hello, Suzanne. She's from Denmark. She says, do you use a perfumed male scent, and which one? I do. I've various, but I do love this particular one, and it's Creed Aventus, and it's the one where I get a lot of reaction from strangers. I mean, people who know me will probably know the scent, but on the odd occasion, somebody will, you know, who's serving me in the shop might say, "I'm really sorry to be rude, but do you mind me asking you what scent you're wearing?" That's happened checking in on a flight. That's happened in a queue for whatever in a restaurant, by men and women. Just people going, I really like that smell. What is it? Now, I like to think it's mixed with my body odor that creates this specific scent. I could be wrong with that, but it is. It's not cheap. It's not cheap. It's hard to pay. It's a couple of €100, or if not and more. But it is absolutely top class. Next question up comes in from Megan and Melissa. Hey, Nikki, what's a song you've thought would be a good cover for Westlife to sing, but haven't tried it yet? And your suggestion is always on my mind by Willie Nelson. My dad used to sing that one, actually, by Willie Nelson, and the Elvis Presley version of it. There's loads of songs that I think Westlife would do a really good job on. There's one old song that Finbar Fury, who's an Irish singer, sings, and it's called The Old Man. And it wouldn't be the most, I guess, pop commercial song, but it's about a man who's lost his dad. And I always play it on my dad's anniversary, which is the 3rd of November. And every year I just have a moment in my car, I'll play this song, and I have a little cry to myself. And then I get up and get on, and I move on again. But I do think Westlife could do an amazing acoustic, traditional Irish little version of it, just for us. And in fact, 3 of our dads have passed away now. So maybe one day, maybe not. There's another song that I think would be a great cover by Tony Rich Project, which was a big hit in the very early 90s, which is called, I think it's called Nobody Knows. Absolute top class ballad. It's on the lines of those I Swear that came out in around 92, 3, 4, 5, in around there. I actually was singing it recently to the boys. We were away in Asia, myself, Keenan and Shane, and I was going, this would be a great song for us and play it. So who knows? Watch this space. Next question, we move on to Sally Lister. Hey, Sally. Merry Christmas. Nikki, could I have a birthday greeting from you? I've been a fan for years, and my family has tried to get one for me, but unsuccessfully. Oh, sorry to hear that, Sally. Well, happy birthday to you. Happy Christmas to you. And I hope I see you soon at the next Westlife show. And keep listening to the podcast. Now we go to China. This email comes in from, forgive me if I pronounce this incorrectly, Ziying Lu. So hello, Ziying Lu. And the questions are, what inspires you most about talking to so many people on the podcast? I think I'm a conversationalist. I like chatting to people, even when I'm in the bar or at a restaurant or at a train. If I strike up a conversation with somebody, I'm always interested in their lives. I'm always interested in, well, who are they? Where do they come from? You know, what do they grow up wanting to be? What was their parents like? Were they good in school? Have their ambitions come true? Where did they fail? Where did they make a success? And I think that stems from when I was a kid. I used to love the chat show in Ireland, the Late Late Show. Which is still going now, but a man called Nicky Byrne used to host that in Ireland. Sadly, has passed away. But because he had the same surname as me, my mum used to tell me he was her Uncle Gabo. Now, he was everybody's Uncle Gabo in Ireland, but I had the same surname, so he was really my Uncle Gabo. And I was lucky enough to meet him through the years of Westlife. But I just loved watching the Late Late Show on a Friday night. And back then in the late 80s, mid to late 80s and early 90s, the Late Late Show was groundbreaking. They dealt with all sorts of different things, whether it was sexuality or contraception, or there was nearly fights and arguments on the show. It's a little bit more safe nowadays on TV around the world, but that was groundbreaking for me. And it's probably where I was educated a lot of the time. That and late night talk radio. So I always imagined myself doing that type of job on radio or TV to some level. And now I genuinely, I suppose I'm interested in people. I think that's where it comes from. Hope that answers it. Next question. Do you have plans to visit China again? I mean, we really have had some amazing trips to China in the past 2 to 4 years, actually, since just pre the pandemic and then after the pandemic. We've done some amazing shows there. So there's no immediate plans to come back to China right now, but there's no immediate plans to go anywhere right now. We're taking a break at the minute. and we are, I suppose, privately planning the next steps for Westlife. What that is, you know, is that an album? Is that an anniversary album? Is that another tour? You know, if it is, where do we start? What type of tour would we like to put together? These are all the questions that happen when you're planning the next stages of Westlife. And we've only just finished. So we're going to take a few months away at least. And then maybe hook up in the end of the first quarter of 25 and start planning the next steps. But if I can give you a little bit of insight, probably would involve recording something and starting to plan the next tour, which I think will be amazing. It's amazing really because we have not been back to Ireland and the UK in 2.5 years now. And there's we won't do that in 25. So, you know, it's going to be a long time before we get back, but it'll be a big tour whenever we do. We go to Melissa Hall, also in Australia. And she says, if you could invite 5 people to a dinner party, who would they be? Good question. I've heard that question to other people. Maybe it's been put to me in the past that I've never got to answer or think of it properly. Okay, I'm going to go with Roy Keane. So Keano's there. Then I'm going to go with Bertie Ahern, my father-in-law. So you got Roy, you got Bertie. I would go with, I hope this is living or dead, so I'm going to go with Frank Sinatra. I think that'll be an interesting one. I'm going to bring my dad back for this one as well. So there you go. Did I say 5? Yes, that's 5. Okay, so 4 now. So you got Roy, Bertie, Frank Sinatra, my dad. Maybe somebody kind of out there that would, maybe somebody like a Ricky Gervais. I know he's a comedian. Some people might not like his comedy. Or Will Burr. Do you know anyone know Will Burr, the American comedian? He makes me laugh. So yeah, be Ricky or Will. Maybe they have to have a little comedy off between them to win the final spot at the table. And they got to tell me 5 jokes each. And whoever makes me laugh the most gets the final seat. Melissa also asks, who would play you in a movie biopic? I always say Brad Pitt. So I can't really change that, really, can I? I do like Tom Cruise, though. I think Tom Cruise is cool. But, you know, not that Brad looks anything like me, but Tom has obviously got dark hair and Brad has that kind of sandy brown hair kind of thing. So myself and Shane always joke about this, that he's got Tom Cruise and I've got Brad in the Westlife movie. And Matt Damon would be Kane. And then who do we say for Mark? See, Tom Cruise could also step in for Mark as well, although Mark be a lot taller than Tom. So Mark might be... Maybe Paul Mescal? That'd be a good Westlife lineup. We go with that. Right, now we go to the Netherlands. Stephie Dirks. Stephie says, hey Nicky, are there plans for Westlife to come for a show in the Netherlands? We've been to Norway, Sweden, Denmark many times on the reunion. But for some reason, we've never gotten back to Germany. We've never gone back to Belgium. We've never gone back to the Netherlands. We've never gone back to Luxembourg. And a few others, Austria, different places we've toured. So I think on the next one, it's an open book. And it's like... let's do it. It does take time, and obviously we're older lads now. We're not as young and fresh as we used to be. We take a lot more time to recover. And we've all got kids, and they're all got their own hobbies and schools and exams. So we're actually quite good at sitting down and planning out what dates don't work for some people. Like, so none of us like to be away when our kids are going through state school exams, for example. So in Ireland, that's the junior certificate or the leaving certificate, which happens in around June. We all like to have a family holiday when the kids are off school in July and stuff. So it's usually trying to work it around with like Christmas at home, that type of stuff. Big birthdays, if one of us has a 40th, well, that's a while ago. Next birthdays will be the 50th. And similarly for our partners or our wives or whatever, we like to not miss those big moments. So that's how we try and do it. And that's why the tour has taken so long, 2.5 years. Just finished. So we liked when we do those far away trips to Asia or Australia or China or whatever, we like to do no longer than 3 weeks. We do 3 weeks away and then we come home for maybe 3 weeks. Then we do 3 or 4 weeks away, never longer than 4, and then home for a week or a month and then go again. So to answer your question, Netherlands, yes, it's only an hour and a half, 2-hour flight from Dublin. We've no excuse really, do we? So so we've done the Rotterdam Arena plenty of times. We've done the Heineken Music Hall in Amsterdam many times. So yeah, we're looking forward to it in the future. Right, we go to the UK now. Rachel Barry from Cramlington. She says, Nicky, what's the best and worst food you've had during your travels? I'm not a big shellfish fan. And a lot of the times in Asia, we go to a lot of like sushi restaurants or restaurants where they do a lot of shellfish. Now, there's always options, so I survive. But the boys love their prawns or they love lobster or they love... Just not for me. I like fish, but I don't like shellfish. I used to like crab, used to like it, but then it's just not for me anymore. So, but I have tasted some crazy stuff through the years. For some people out there, it may not be crazy, but I have done the whole frog's legs, and I've done alligator, and I've done. So I remember being in a country in Africa, down the south of Africa, not South Africa, but down the south of Africa. What was the name of the country? It'll come back to me. But the menu was zebra, ostrich, crocodile or alligator, and something else. And yeah, it was. I mean, it was delicious. I can't remember what I got in the end, but it was like a proper meat house in Africa, and I can't remember the name of the country, but yeah, things like that open your mind up. I always say traveling is the best education, and we have been absolutely everywhere, from Japan right down to the bottom of South Africa, right up to the north of Scandinavia, over to the west of America, all over Asia, obviously India. Yeah, we've been all over. So yeah, we've tasted some great stuff. But I think the older I get now, the less adventurous I am. I don't know if that's just an age thing. I kind of just like, chicken, steak, fish, and I don't really go too adventurous anymore. I think, if I'm being honest, I think I don't like the idea of getting any sort of food poisoning or sickness while I'm in a foreign country so far away. That's always one. It's not that I'm afraid of it. It's more like, I can't be dealing with this while I'm jumping on planes so keep it easy, keep it, clean and less adventurous. We go to Croatia next. Andrej Kostelic. Again, apologies if I mispronounced it. Was your hair naturally blonde, or was it dyed when you were younger? No, I was snow white as a kid. Really, really blonde. And first time I ever put blonde in my hair, I was in Westlife. So I think I was just turning 20. So that was the only time first time, should I say, I put colour in my hair. So there's no colour in my hair now. So I haven't had colour in my hair in over a year. So that's as natural as it gets. I've no grey, I have a little bit of grey here and in my beard. But sure, don't we all at 46? That's why I keep it nice and tight, because you don't get, otherwise it starts to look like you've been painting the house and a little bit of white in the side of your hair. But what used to happen to me and you've seen it probably at the start of the band a bit, which is why I dyed it as well, because my hair was going darker. I used to use Brill cream, the red and blue tub of Brill cream. I don't know if they still sell it anymore. If they do, you can send me a pot, or you can sponsor the podcast. But when you used to rub it in, it would get quite greasy, and you put it in your hair. And then I used to find my hair be kind of always greasy. Oh, if you put it like waxy, greasy, and it would also make your hair look like orangey, tinty, kind of a goldeny colour if your hair was blonde. So stop using that, and I went to other stuff. The next question is from Stephen Byrne in Baldoyle in Dublin in Ireland, which is where I'm from. Stephen says, do you still have the BMW with the 7 number 1 reg? I don't have the BMW with the 7 number 1s. That was one of my favourite ever cars. We'd 7 number 1s from 0 to 7. And I got we made a little few quid. So I bought a royal blue, like, what colour blue? Like that colour blue. Here's my Nicky doll. Like that colour blue BMW. And it was a cabriolet convertible. And it was grey interior. It was absolutely stunning. The reg was 01, which is the year in Ireland. And then D for Dublin. So 01 Dublin. And then I got 7111111, which was 71,111. But it looked like 7 number 1s, and I had it for, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 years, and then I traded it in, and it's gone. I still think it exists in around Dublin somewhere. Somebody has it. So if you ever see it, 71111, that was my car at Monday. So good question. Thanks, Stephen. Right now, this comes in from Tiff S. Nikki, what's your favourite outfit you've worn with Westlife, and which one did you hate? I'll go with the one I hated first. And I only hate it nowadays. I don't know if I liked that at the time. Maybe I did. It was the 1999 MTV Music Awards in Dublin, and we wore this kind of flashy cummerbund, but it was kind of oversized, and there was all like diamantes on it, and it used to close around like that. And I had one in black and one in white. In fact, I wore the white one in the Flying Without Wings video shoot, and I thought it was cool at the time. I'm not sure it's dated too well. So hate is a strong word. I don't really do regrets too much, but if you look at that, it's not the coolest. Favorite, I have loads of favorites. I actually loved the kind of lime green suit I wore in the last tour when we did the Beyonce moment, kind of walking down the catwalk, and that moment, that was a pretty cool suit. I also loved, and you might see it on this show actually, I also loved the red and black long coat that we wore on the In the Round tour for World of Our Own. And we used to swing the coats and we wore black leather gloves. Loved that black and red coat. Loved the blonde diner outfit that we wore with Claudia Schiffer in the video for Uptown Girl for Comic Relief. Still have that shirt with blondes on the back. I loved the red boiler suit for Uptown Girl that we wore on the 2001 Dreams Come True tour. Some really cool ones. Yeah, some really cool. We're getting older now. We're less... In fact, interesting. The kind of black and white cow outfit we wore on the reunion, on the last tour. I love that. The boys, Keane, Shane and Mark, hated that look. Or they grew to hate it. It was one of my favourites. Next question comes in from Deli Alro from Mexico. Will Westlife ever tour Mexico again? Well, we did 3 shows there in March just gone after we did the USA and Canada. We had a brilliant time. We did Guadalajara, we did Monterrey, and we did Mexico City. Loved all the shows, but the Mexico City show, the arena was outrageously big and brilliant. It must have been nearly 20,000 people. Brilliant night. Loved it. Absolutely packed out. So we're hoping to go back to Mexico. We want to make it part of Latin America tour and obviously South America tour as well. So we may in the future do the Canada, USA, Mexico, and then down to South America to go back to places where we've been before, like obviously Brazil, Argentina. We've never been to Uruguay, never been to Venezuela, and never been to Colombia. And I know Westlife have big fan bases in all of these countries down in South America. So we'll try to get them all. We'll see. Next question comes in back to the UK. We go to Glasgow. In an alternative universe, which in and why? It would absolutely be the Spice Girls. It would have to be. They were the biggest, weren't they? You'd have to be in the biggest one. So yeah, I'd be in the Spice Girls. I'm not sure which Spice Girl I'd be, but I'd definitely be in the Spice. I mean, the songs like Stop Right Now and Goodbye, they had some tunes. So yeah, Spice Girls. Next one from Stephen says, would you swap coming on stage at Croke Park for walking out as goalkeeper at Lansdowne Road? I've been asked that before. It's a tough one. If it meant playing in a World Cup final, then maybe. If it meant playing for Ireland in a World Cup final against England and winning, that'd be hard to turn down now, wouldn't it? I don't think you'd ever have to buy a pint ever again in Ireland if you won the World Cup. So I don't know. I'll refrain from answering that. No comment. Joanna Worthington says, if you could be a Mr. Men character, which one would you be and why? I'm not great on Mr. Men. So I definitely wouldn't be Mr. Lazy. I'm not grumpy. I can be grumpy, very grumpy, by the way, but no, I'm not. Overall, I'm not grumpy. Mr. Ambitious, is that something? Yeah, Mr. Ambitious. It's not. We'll create him. Bethan Burke from Wales says, what are your family Christmas traditions? So Christmas for me was always about family. So when I left home at 16, I used to get Christmas off. So I'd be away and then I'd get home for the week at Christmas or maybe 5 days. So I really looked forward to meeting family, meeting friends. Obviously myself and Georgina were together. So Christmas was always going home. And then when Westlife obviously happened, it was the same. We'd be away all year and then we'd get home for Christmas. And then when we bought a house, we used to create the environment of all our family coming to us, and we'd have like 20, 25 for dinner. And that's just grown now over 25 plus years. Unfortunately, we've lost some people along the way. I mean, dad's passed away, my nana's passed away, my granddad's passed away. And in saying that, new people have come in. Like we've had children, my sisters had children, Georgina's sisters had children. So you lose some, you gain some, and the 20 plus for dinner is still the same. So it's a lovely day. I'll run the bar. Georgina runs the kitchen. Everybody's happy to some degree. Everyone wants a drink and everybody wants to eat. We exchange gifts, and it's quite low key actually, you know. But it's fun. It's exactly what everybody would think it is. It's disagreements, it's jokes, it's sticking on what's on TV, whether it's the Mrs. Brown's Boys special or it's the Strictly special or it's whatever, Dunbelievables, whatever's all, Superman, Willy Wonka, whatever's always on over Christmas, it's always the same. And I wouldn't change it for the world. There's only one time we went away. We stayed in Ireland, but we went to a hotel. So we woke up Christmas morning, Santa had come, obviously, in our house and stuff. And then after Santa presents, we drove to a hotel for dinner. And I hated it. Absolutely. Just didn't feel the same. Wanted to be at home. So, And I really don't like the idea of going abroad for Christmas. I don't think just wouldn't be... Look, you never say never. but I don't want to do it right now. Okay, so that's Ask Me Anything for now. We'll definitely do that again. I've really loved having your questions. And sorry if I didn't get to read them all out. But we'll definitely do again down the road. And we might even do a video version of it as well, where you can send in your video messages and we'll read them out. And if you ever want to send in any questions, please do. Email info@nickybyrnehq.com, and that's where we'll see the questions. It's time for the top 10 countdown of the most memorable moments on Nicky Byrne HQ so far. At number 10, we've got Chris Kamara and my goal at Soccer Aid. But that's why, I loved the glory of scoring goals. And I played in numerous Soccer Aids. In fact, I played in one in 2008 in Wembley Stadium, and Shearer was playing. And I had an opportunity to score, and I hit a shot from about 25 yards and bounced off the crossbar. And I mean, all I wanted to do was score in one of these big games.
Yeah.
It didn't happen for me. And then 4 years later, I was playing again. We won a penalty at Old Trafford, and I stepped up to take it. I slipped, and David Seaman saved it. And 2 occasions, I thought, I'm never going to get this opportunity. And then in 2014, just before that clip, actually, a few years before that, I scored a little chip, a little dink over Jamie Theakston, Stretford end, and it was all my dreams come true. You know, all my
that don't count him. It's Jamie Theakston.
Don't take it from me. Don't take it. It wasn't
David James.
What a goal it was. At 9, Katie Price telling me that her and Kerry Katona are ugly sisters. Did you jungle Kerry? Was that?
Yes.
When she won? So
do you know, yeah, she won that. That was the one I was in when I met Pete.
Okay.
And then I'm doing Panto with Kerry this year. With the two
ugly
sisters, exactly, in Cinderella. But
are you Cinderella?
No, we're the ugly sisters, me and Kerry. I went to her, well, who's the ugliest one out of us two? I said, clearly it's not me. We're like Beauty and the Beast. I always wind her up. But Kerry, like, she's another one underestimated. She's gone through hell and back, but she's come out, she's completely different. She don't even drink anymore. Like, I do love Kerry. She's calmed down a lot as well.
At number 8, a real Irish history lesson. My father-in-law, Bertie Ahern, tells me about his secret meeting.
I had a secret meeting in Dublin, which everyone thought was in the north.
You told me about this, and I don't know if this is public, so I wanted you to tell this story.
It was felt at a critical time that I should really hold a hand of friendship out to the loyalist guys, to the key guys on the loyalist side, not the parties, not the political representatives, but the actual UDA, UVF and Red Hand commanders. In the end, it was agreed with the help of Archbishop Eames that we would meet in a small church in South Dublin. I couldn't drive there because it was a secret meeting. One of my security guys got a van from the guards, one of the undercover vans.
But can I just add to this, Bert?
Yes.
The guards who were looking after you, your Taoiseach of Ireland, you only told one of them?
Only one. But I went into the room and nobody stood up, so we had a meeting. But at the end of the meeting, they all stood up and all shook hands to me. One of them then, he turned around and he said, "You came to meet us in this secret location and we saw the van coming in, so you came secretly and you've no security. We appreciate that, but would you bring us into your office to meet us?" Thinking that I'd say no. And I said, "I will. The next time we meet, you can walk in the gates of government buildings." There was silence because they did not think that the Taoiseach, and maybe a lot of people might think he shouldn't have given them the respect. But from my point of view, I was trying to do a certain job. I mean, it is risky, of course it is, but at the same time, if your job is to end the violence, you have to try to bring those that are engaged in the violence. They were the people we had to convince, and the only way I could think of doing it was to meet them.
At number 7, the one, the only Mr. Michael Flatley's motivational moment. Come on! If you could say anything to your mum and dad now, you know, they've obviously both passed, what would you like to say to them?
I'm so proud of both of you. Thank you for everything you've given me. Thank you for the life I've had. Thank you for the tough times and the good times. Thank you for smiling down on me and giving me the strength and courage that I need. I see life, Nicky, like a relay race. My father worked his whole life to give me a head start in life and allow me to do what I love with my life, to work all those extra hours to practice and be ready. He handed me the baton with a head start. My job is now to hand that to my son with a head start. And there's no feckin' way I'm going to drop that baton. He'll get it and he'll have a bigger lead. That's my father I have to thank for that.
At number 6, we have a sad story. Jo O'Mara remembering her bandmate Paul Cattermole. To believe. It's hard to believe. Do you remember the best memories of him throughout his life that you had shared with him?
I think you do, yeah. You know, he was a pain in the bum sometimes, you know. I'm not going to lie. Yeah, but he was funny.
Yeah.
And I think you do miss that you realise now the energy. Yeah.
How has it been then since?
Oh. Yeah.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Sorry,
I don't want to make you
I
upset.
don't even know why.
No, that's understandable. That's understandable. I don't want to make you upset. Sorry. Do you want to move on?
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, the reunion that you've just kicked off, right? You're doing some amazing. I've been watching this stuff. Do you want to take a minute?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
I
No,
don't,
absolutely.
Do you know what? I think it was that.
Listen. I don't want to. I just want to
Do you know
watch the last thing.
the thing is, we talk about him all the time, don't we? And I never get like this. So I don't know what that is. Sorry.
You okay?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
I actually don't have any tissues. So, you okay?
Yeah, I'm good. I don't know what happened.
And we're halfway there. At number 5 in the top 10 countdown, we have Joey from NSYNC and his missing doll. It's the Nicky Westlife doll. You don't have one of them, do you?
No, I need
Nichols.
one then. Should I just get just you, or do I need all the guys?
Well, that's up to you. You have your own NSYNC doll. I'm sure you're in Planet Hollywood or whatever you are.
There are marionettes somewhere. We each got, when we did the Trolls thing, again, I'm a dork. Mattel made a one-of-a-kind doll of each of us. If you look, there's a photo of us holding the dolls on the red carpet. It gets handed to the handler. It's supposed to go in a car. Disappeared. Have no idea where it is. They've only made one. And Mattel made it. It was hand done. It was awesome. It was the coolest thing. And now it is completely gone. I don't know where the hell it is. So I know Mattel, if you hear me out there, make a new one for me. I'll buy it. I don't care.
At number 4, we have East 17's Tony Mortimer and the sad story behind Stay Another Day. Let's get into Stay Another Day. Obviously, very came out of a sad moment with your brother Ollie.
It was a very strange song because I didn't want it released, but I was looking for inspiration and I thought, well, I'm going to write a love song about the pain and stuff. But you know, when you perform it on stage, how can I not think of my brother every time? Well, he was a great musician, great guitarist and lyricist and stuff, and he was my idol, you know. But
You all right, pal?
no, I'm good. I'll come back in a second, but this is, yeah. But it's lovely for what it's done for people and how people like the song. And I still like the word Stay Another Day, you know, and the initials are sad. You can't plan for that, but I love that story of if you could have people for one more day, you know, it's a wonderful sentiment. It is, you know, if I'm honest with you, it's incredibly emotional for me and it always will be.
At number 3, we have Louis Walsh and his Eurovision dig. I remember you not winning. What do you remember of me doing Eurovision?
I remember you not winning.
If you had took me there, if you would have managed me then, Louis, it would have been different, right?
It was all about the show, you see, and the track. The track was good. It wasn't great. It was good. It was good. A better song.
Yeah.
A better song. If you got a good song, you know you're halfway there. And then you work it, and politically, Ireland always wins.
At number 2, it's Brian McFadden and myself reliving All Right Story. What's the folks?
Brian. And I'm Keane. And we're Westlife. I'm Keane. I was like, no, I'm not. Hi, I'm Shane. I'm Mark. I'm Nicky. I'm Keane. I'm Brian. And we're Westlife. By the way, we're on TV.
That's so Shane. Lads, I'm hungry. Come on.
It's not fun. They're going to say, he's not fun because we're bored. It's not fun. Brian. I'll tell you what's going to happen. They'll ring in, and they'll make it a point on the next show, and they'll be talking about us again. They'll be going, how come? I like that, lads. It's fun because we're going to be bad. Oh, money. 1, 2, 3. Hi, we're Westlife. I'm Shane. I'm Mark. I'm Nicky. I'm starving. Oh, right story. What's the full?
That was the end of it. Good luck.
And finally, number 1 for Christmas 2024, the most memorable moment of Nicky Byrne HQ so far is Gary Barlow's impromptu playing of the kids' piano to Back for Good. Now, you spoke of your piano. This is the good time to bring this up because we found the piano. What age did you say?
I'm so impressed with the research.
Thank you.
I was about 9.
I haven't even looked at it, by the way.
I was about 9 when I got that keyboard.
Yeah, that's about right. That's about 9, isn't it? That's what. Don't
I
say
think-
that's not yours.
I think-
That's the elephant from the circus
I
tour.
think I got that when I was about 4.
Of course. I don't know if you're going to write Patience again on it or how Back for Good.
I love
Or
these
how
little
deep is your love.
ones.
But
I
there you go.
love these little things.
Can you actually play that?
I guess now it's time for me to give up. years, something like that. The fingers are too big. Gorgeous.
Okay, guys, I hope you're all still having a very Merry Christmas. Now, the next part of the show has been the one that's been most anticipated by many people who knew about this taking place. I mean, what do you get when you cross a postman, a welder, a taximan, a carpenter, a courier, a mechanic, and whatever Paul Irwin actually does? So these are my very close friends, people I've been together with since day dot in school, in football, and many other situations through our years. They really wanted to come on the podcast. They begged me, in fact. So we made a date. Drink was taken, then more drink was taken, and the Christmas party turned into an absolute free-for-all. I can only let you see a little bit of it. I've tried, with the help of world-class producers, to edit as much as I possibly can. There are hours of footage you will never see or hear. But ladies and gentlemen, I made them put on some Westlife costumes to kick us all off. Here's what happened. All right, guys.
You're a Western genius.
Stand in front of the desk here and just lean forward so we can see the back to the camera there. No, do the way you cost. Face me and just lean forward.
Like how you open Nico's car.
There you go.
You didn't wear that, Nico.
I didn't wear that.
Fireman Sam.
Do a turn around.
Come here, look. Are you ready, Nico?
There you go, Lally. Turn around, Lally. Look at the screen. Lally, turn around. Look at the screen. You. Now turn around, Paul.
There's more than one camera. Kicking's looking at the telly going, it's me, I'm in the way.
Just give us a little shot on the camera there.
Oh, God, little shot. There's not little about this.
It is. Come on, ready.
Where am I going?
Why have you got Jack's jokes on you?
I couldn't get this on.
Would you just turn and do a little whirl of our own? We got a little.
You want me to do a twirl?
Twirl, 360.
Twirl. One more and twirl. Give us one more and twirl.
Turn around to the camera and show them.
You were dancing with this shit on. I'm breathing. I'm breathing in and everything with this on.
Looks good.
Where's your motorbike?
It's not Marcus.
Where's the 50?
So after all of that, and the Christmas party continued long into the night, the Santa Claus that sat right here, he got drunk too. He fell off the table. And my good friend Graham Hussey helped us out by trying to replace the Santa back into his seat. This happened. Right, here we go.
Nico, we have a lot of whiskey
You
in
had a
you.
meeting when you were out, by the way.
Yeah, you should be
Didn't go too well.
Paul.
Yes.
Sorry, art department's in.
Yeah. Sorry, come here. Just.
Oh, God!
Jesus. It's Johnny. It's Johnny Wars. Keep that in. Please keep that in.
Delete that.
Sorry, come here. Just.
Oh, God!
Sorry, come here. Just.
Oh, God!
Joker. That's the best thing I've ever told a human being.
He was like Mike Tyson on the way in.
Can you see that?
I mean, what a moment. The noise got noisier. The room got hotter. The smell got worse. The questions weren't being answered. I needed help. I needed reinforcements. Cue my 11-year-old daughter, Gia. Go, Gia.
Welcome back to the GBHQ, and I've taken over. Paul, this Paul. A Christmas song you like and why?
Christmas song that I like is You'll Never Walk Alone. And it's down to my mother, who I lost when I was 5. So we never got to spend a Christmas together. So I always love You'll Never Walk Alone.
Yes.
Yes, Paul! Hopes and dreams for 2025.
I just hope I make it.
Hopes and dreams.
Hopes and dreams.
I don't know what's funny, but I'll laugh along.
Well done, Gia. Love that answer.
Well done,
It's not PIHQ.
Here we go. Gia, everybody! Well, guys, that is it. Thank you so much for joining me on this Christmas special of Nicky Byrne HQ. It has been fun. It's been interesting. It's been emotional. So thank you for a brilliant year. All the episodes so far have gone down really, really well. Loads more surprises to come. My plans for 2025 is for Nicky Byrne HQ to become bigger and better. Thank you very much. Have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Bye-bye.